Welcome to Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs. As you may know, DM is internet slang for direct message, a private mode of communication between social media users. Asia Hudson and Grant Gilmore have more questions from the worldwide online community. We are recording today with a live audience, showing them how this series is produced. When the editors have finished with the raw footage, you can view the finished product on YouTube.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs. As you can see, our setup is a little bit different today. I'm not in the editing bay. I'm actually on the set of Ask Dr. Taylor, and we're shooting a live version of In the DMs with Arlene herself right now. Hi, Arlene.
I think this is really fun, Asia. I've wondered how it would work. I like it on some of our other series where you and I sit on the same set and banter back and forth a bit. So let's see how we like this.
I'm very excited, so let's go ahead and get into our first questions. Here we go. As you know, I always have my handy dandy iPhone, and the first question is from Hans from Germany. And Hans says, I'm a mental health enthusiast, good for you, Hans, and he goes to the gym regularly, but he wants to know why mental health is important.
Good for you, Hans. Physical health is important. Mental health, however, may be even more important because everything starts in the brain, not in the body. Without a brain, your body would be a vegetable, although in reality it couldn't even exist, because automatic functions like breathing and your heartbeats are directed by the brain. No doubt you already know that going to the gym can also benefit the brain because the brain has no muscles, and physical exercise helps move blood circulation to the brain.
All right, Hans, hopefully that answered your question. The next one is from Annie, and she is from Prince Edward Island. Annie wants to know, when I ask my husband if he wants to go shopping with me, his first question is, how long will this take? And the second question is, what are you looking for? Why does his brain do that, Annie? That is so relatable. Girl to girl, very relatable.
Well, I'm sure we've all been through that. First, it's likely all about energy. Estimates are that 2/3 of males calculate in advance how much energy something likely will require to make sure they have enough. Females have more endurance energy because they metabolize fat more efficiently. Second, when males shop, they tend to hunt for a predetermined quarry they've already researched on the internet. Females often shop for a change or to browse and see what's new. 3 hours later, they may or may not have bought anything. This can be frustrating for the average male if you don't understand the differences.
Our next question is from Frankie in Brooklyn. Frankie says, last night I was listening to the latest news. I couldn't get to sleep for hours. I'm quite anxious about it this morning, but I don't know what to do.
Well, anxiety is part of the protective emotion of fear. It's designed to alert us to danger, real or imagined. Anxiety disorders are the most common mental disorders worldwide. They affect 1 in every 13 persons globally who fear that a terrible thing might happen, or a desirable thing might not happen, or they don't even know why they're anxious. Estimates are that anxiety has increased by up to 50% since COVID-19. You might want to see a counselor to help you identify the cause, as unmanaged anxiety can lead to depression. Meantime, listening to music or reading a book might be a better option than the latest news.
The next one is Esme from South Africa. And Esme wants to know, sometimes I forget what I went into the next room to fetch. My husband fears I'm getting Alzheimer's. What can I do? That's a very relatable question, Esme. I would also like to know, what can I do?
Many people on planet Earth have experienced this phenomenon, children and adults. The brain has an event boundary function. When you pass through a doorway or archway to another room, the brain scrubs working memory so it will be fresh to help you in the new room. There is an antidote. As you pass through the doorway to the next room, say to yourself, using your first name and present tense, Esme, you are fetching the scissors, or whatever it is you want. This keeps that thought in your working memory. I'll tell you, it sure saves me a lot of time.
We have an Alaska-based question from Zoe. I'm already going to say, Zoe, this is very relatable to me because my partner also tells me that I worry too much. So Zoe wants to know, she said, my husband says I worry too much, but someone has to worry though, right? Right.
Not really. NIH statistics showed that last year, 23.4% of females in the United States reported being worried, compared with only 14.3% of males. Is what you are worrying about within your partial or complete control? If yes, take steps to manage it. If no, let it go. Avoid wasting time and energy on things outside of your control. Worry is anxiety's twin, and they never solve anything. Did you know that gratitude is the antidote to worry and anxiety? When you catch yourself worrying, pick 3 things for which you are grateful and think about them.
Mason from Philadelphia wants to know, every year my wife and I get sick after the holidays. I'm getting sick of getting sick. What should we do?
Well, it's not rocket science, although it happens to a lot of people. Change your lifestyle. What you have been doing obviously has not helped you stay well. For example, did you lose sleep? The brain directs immune system function during sleep. Cut your sleep, and some repair tasks will not be done. How much sugar are you eating? A healthy white blood cell can neutralize or take out or destroy 13 harmful organisms. Drink 1 16-ounce bottle of soda containing 55 grams of sugar, and the ability of the white blood cells to kill harmful organisms drops to 1-on-1 combat. Change your lifestyle.
Okay, I'm sure that this is a question that a lot of people would love to know the answers to. It is actually sent to us by an anonymous person, and they want to know what mental disorder causes the most illness and disability on planet Earth.
According to the World Health Organization, anxiety disorders are the most common mental disorder worldwide. However, depressive disorders take the prize as the leading cause of ill health and disability, affecting 1 in every 20 individuals worldwide. Anxiety and depression are often linked together, as nearly half of those diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. But they really are separate mental health conditions.
Last but certainly not least, we have Anonymous in Las Vegas. Anonymous wants to know, I read a quote by Henry Ford. The body's chief function is to carry the brain around. I don't get it. All right, Anonymous, let's have Dr. Taylor explain that one.
You need a healthy body to transport your brain from place to place, timely and safely. Otherwise, your brain would be stuck in one location with no possibility of travel. Without wise direction, however, your body might take your brain to dark, deadly, and dangerous places. I think that quote from the man who made cars available for the middle class for the first time was portraying his high regard for the human brain.
All right, and that wraps it up for another episode of Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this live version of the DMs that we had. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. And now we're going to talk to Arlene a little bit about this new segment.
Well, this was kind of fun, Asia. It's the first time we've done it live. How did it feel?
It was really nice, actually. I thought it was going to be, different, but it wasn't as different as I thought it was going to be previously. So this ended up being great.
Well, we'll see if our viewers, which one they like best. Do they like it when you're back in the editing bay, or do they like it when you're on stage with me? So I often ask, when we do this, what was your favorite question?
I would say that my favorite question was about the mental illness and which one is the most pervasive throughout the world. And I thought it was very interesting that you said anxiety, that leads to depression. And I think that's very relatable for a lot of people, not just the person that asked the question. So I'm excited to put that back out there into the world and see what they say.
Well, my favorite question, and I have to tell you, it's really personal. My favorite question is about the shopping business. When my husband and I first got married, I was trying to be very inclusive, and I said, I'm going shopping to the mall. Do you want to come with me? And his first question was, well, how long are you going to take? And I'm thinking, how long am I going to take? I don't know how long I'm going to take. I'm going shopping. And he said, well, what are you looking for? And I said, I'm looking for a peach-colored blouse, maybe try some shoes on, like to go to lunch. Okay, he says, I'll go with you. So we get to the mall, get out of the car, go in, and he disappears down the mall. I go into the first store and look around, and the second store and look around, and pretty soon I walk out to the third store, and he's waving down at the end of the mall. So I go down there and he goes, I found your peach blouse for you. And I said, oh, where is it? He took me in the store. He said, look, it's a peach blouse and it's even better because it's on sale. Let's buy it and we'll be done with that. And I said, well, but there might be some other peach blouses that I'd like to look at first. Right. Well, he says, this is a perfectly good blouse. And I said, but I want to look at some more peach blouses. And I was starting to get a little upset, and he started to pout. And he says, all right, do your thing. And he walks along with his hands in his pocket. Fortunately, it was about lunchtime, and we had a really nice lunch. And then we went home. And I started doing research and realized that he was hunting for me to find the quarry. But I didn't recognize that. And so we developed a new shopping style. Most of the time, quite frankly, I went with a girlfriend. But sometimes he'd say, yeah, go shopping. I'll meet you at Macy's for lunch. And it worked out just fine. And that is the beauty of understanding something about the brain.
It's probably for the best, too. Every time I've taken a man shopping with me, they just slow me down. I'm like, I got to go. Or they say that they like everything. So it's a very relatable story to all the women out there.
Good. And so that's how you have better relationships with each other, because you understand how each other's brain works and you can negotiate. And that's all for this episode of Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs. Thank you, Asia and Grant, and all the team members. And thanks also to Michael Hudson, guest producer for this episode. Incidentally, he is also my co-author for the book Music on the Brain, now also available on Audible. As always, thank you to the worldwide online community for sharing your brain questions, and to you, our viewers, for watching. Until next time, remember that mental health is important because everything starts in your brain. To paraphrase Oscar Hammerstein II in South Pacific, there is nothing you can name that is anything like the brain. That's a brain secret.